Hi, I'm Mike Lang, anotherpintplease.com, and it is fantastic to see you. Today we're going to smoke a pork butt over medium heat on the Weber kettle. Now usually you think pork butt, you're thinking low and slow, a low temperature over a long period of time. It is not always the easiest thing to have an overnight cook, or even worse in my opinion, getting up really early to fire up the smoker or the kettle to put the pork on. So to have a shorter cook at a higher temperature with still amazing results to me is definitely a winner. The key to this too is not only hitting that internal temperature of about 200 degrees to 203 degrees Fahrenheit, but also the rest that happens afterwards as all that rendered fat redistributes itself to the pork and you get a nice clean pull. That is really where the magic happens. Got a 7.5 pound pork butt. We're gonna get it rubbed up and get it ready for the grill. When it comes to the rub, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to use what I love, and that happens to be Christy Van Over's from Girls Can Grill pork rub from Spiceology. This stuff is fantastic. This is not a product placement. She doesn't even know I'm going to talk about it. I bought this myself. In fact, I've almost used all of it, so it's time to reorder. But let me tell you what, it's a sweet, spicy blend. It is absolutely great on pulled pork. I highly suggest you give it a shot and try it. I'm going to use it today. Now, normally if I'm going to do low and slow in the kettle, I'm going to use either the modified minion method or the snake method, which is in essence unlit coals with lit coals. Now I'll do the same thing here, but I'm going to add more lit coals, about probably a half a chimney full, to get that higher temperature of 350 to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Set aside the charcoal chimney. I'll lay out my unlit coals. I'll place in my foil pan. I'll then add my lit coals on top of the unlit coals. Add in about 1 inch of water. I'll drop in the grate. I'll leave that hinge side open and I'll place in my apple chunks. Close the lid and check the temperature. Foil is simply there to protect that part of the butt that's closest to the coals. Then also about halfway, I'll rotate the butt. That way both sides have equal time against the heat. Since we're doing a medium heat cook, I'm gonna leave all the vents wide open. If for some reason the temperature climbs a little bit higher and the coals burn faster, I'll then gate the top one down a little bit to adjust for it. Now, double wrap it in foil. Over, same thing again. And now the most important part, the rest. I always wrap my pork in a towel to help keep it a little bit more warm. I then store it in a heavy-duty cooler from anywhere from 2 to 4, sometimes even 6 hours. For a little more heat in the cooler, it doesn't hurt to add some boiling water in a bowl to help add some moisture. And if I ever have you over and offer you a brown towel and it happens to smell like pork, it's because it does. All right, it is time to see what we've got. I will say too, these insulated gloves are fantastic. The cloth ones are nice, but when it comes to actually protecting your hands, there's nothing better than these. Now, the key to success is, well, I guess that's pretty good. Bone comes right out. And then also what I like to just simply do is just push down. And really, if it's pulled enough and it's rested enough, it's just gonna tear right in your hands. So you figure about 4.5 hours for the cook, 2 hours to rest, about 7 hours total. The results speak for themselves, and I'm really super pleased with it. So all of this on a kettle between 350 to 450 degrees Fahrenheit shows you can do a high temperature pulled pork, and it's gonna turn out amazing. As always, thanks for following along. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I'm Mike Lang, anotherpintplease.com. Cheers. True story. And then I'm going to store it in a heavy-duty insulated cooler. Well, it's obviously insulated, it's a cooler.